Hello, gamers! As most of you guys know, and as I have promised in my previous video, this is my much-awaited Project Sekai movie review. Now, let me give you a little context. So, a few days ago, I went to watch the Project Sekai movie with a few of my friends. Two who knew absolutely nothing about Vocaloid and Project Sekai, one who used to be in the Sekai fandom, and also still listens to Vocaloid, I hope. We can call her Ifudachi. And then there's me. But now, as a Project Sekai fan, I know you know that my review may be a little, maybe more than a little, biased. So that is why, in this review, I'll be sharing mine as well as all of my other friends' experiences watching the movie to see if it's enjoyable even if you don't know any of the Project Sekai OCs. Also, be warned that in this review, there could be some parts that contains a little bit of spoilers. So, if you haven't watched the movie yet, and if you just want to be safe, feel free to skip to the timestamp on screen if I have added that in post. Yes, over here. Or, you can look at the chapters that I have provided in the description. So, you know, in the little video scrolling tab thingy, I think it'll show up, hopefully. If you haven't seen the movie, you can always come back to watch the video after you've seen the movie, so that there are no unwanted spoilers, if you know what I mean. Now, I'm not gonna do a whole recap of every single scene and like what happened in the movie. Instead, let's dive into the main highlights of my experience watching the movie. And for more context, in the cinema, I was sitting next to my only other friend, Ifudachi. I'll also be including some comments from her as well. Also, another thing before we start, I just want to say that in our screening, there was literally like no one in the cinema. It was just us and two other people who were sitting together. So throughout the movie, I feel like you could sense the whole dead air. The whole atmosphere was just like you were sitting watching a cemetery or something. So I've heard other people, they've had a lot more lively experiences. A ton of people watching the movie, coming in cosplay, people with their friends and whatnot. But no, my experience was quite the contrary, in fact. So I'm not really going to be talking about the whole experience of what it was like in the cinema because really nothing happened at all. So in the virtual life part, after the movie screening, there was like this afterlife concert like they had in the games with the performances and stuff. They had a whole disclaimer saying, you're allowed to cheer and bring glow sticks and wave them around or something. And in my cinema, it was completely silent. No glow sticks, no nothing, not even clapping. Yeah, that was kind of funny, I guess. Anyways, enough talking, let's get to the highlights. And for the people who just want to see what I thought of each song, see you at this timestamp on the screen. First thing, arguably for me, the main attraction of this movie, well actually not just me, both me and my friend, were the cameos from all the different characters from the game. Like, the scene would pan, and then it's like, oh, it's that NPC from the game, and oh, it's that Wonderhoy NPC girl, and oh, did you hear that song? Did you hear that song? Look at her monitor. Ooh, it's Ayase from the hit Japanese duo Yoasobi. And then the next scene will show up, and then it's boo, ew, Mafu Mom. And then the next scene shows up, and it's what? That's Orange Star in the hit Project Sekai movie, the Miku who can't sing. My friend does not like Orange Star, by the way. Yeah, it was mainly all these different references we were mostly hyped about. It was nice for us to get to see all of the buildings and the environments in an actual anime setting. I remember when the scene with Kamiyama High showed up and we were like, wow, this school is really high tech. Look at those glass stairs or whatever. And also, another remarkable thing is that we got to see Ichika's parents. Finally. Okay, actually, I'm not sure if they were ever shown in game because I haven't been keeping up with the game for a while, but it's really nice that we at least got to see them in the movie. They had a few lines too, if I'm not mistaken. So at least there's confirmation that they're alive and well. Also, next, I feel like some some of the scenes were actually kind of funny. Like, you have that scene with Tsukasa and Saki at their home, and then Saki leaves to do something, and Tsukasa's there and the TV turns on by its own, and it's some kind of horror movie, and then Miku pops up when Tsukasa wasn't looking, and then he screams. Oh yeah, Tsukasa as a whole was very loud. My friend Ifudachi, she was a Tsukasa fan as well. When you look at her, you could see the secondhand embarrassment on her face whenever Tsukasa screams or says something. I thought that was pretty funny as well. Okay, next, I feel like it was nice that most of the Kryptoniloids of each Sekai were included in the movie as well. So personally for me, I really enjoyed the presence of the Nightcore 25 Vocaloids. If you watched my previous video, the ranking video, you would know I love the Nightcore Vocaloids, especially Kaito. And I really liked that they also got speaking lines in the movie and interactions with the unit characters as well as themselves. I also liked the Wonder Show Vocaloids. Again, especially Kaito. I don't know why, even though this movie wasn't exactly about them as a whole, but I really wished that they would have gotten more lines, you know, more screen time and more overall personality. But honestly, with the sheer amount of characters in this movie, I think they managed that aspect pretty alright, I suppose. Like, we could have gotten a lot less screen time of these characters, and with the amount of screen time that we got, I think that was already plenty. I love the running scene, the escape scene with the Wonderland's Showtime Vocaloids. I think that was really fun. Of course, with all of that out of the way, let's talk about some more mixed or negative points we had while watching the movie. Firstly, let's get back to that point about the sheer amount of characters in this movie, shall we? In the beginning, when I came to the movie, I was expecting most of the characters to be pretty irrelevant. I thought it would only focus on the unit leaders, so Ichika, and then Kohane, and then Minori, and Tsukasa, and Kanade. Well, that wasn't the case, and most of the characters of each unit were pretty involved in the storyline, so as a result, we didn't really see any cross-unit interactions much. It was mostly just them interacting within their unit, and I feel like if we had the story more focused on each leader, you know, finding the solution to help the Miku find her voice, I feel like that would have given them a lot more individual personal screen time. I feel like it would be better if the focus was on fewer characters, because with the focus being on everyone at the same time, the movie felt a little messy, and I think that kind of made it hard to watch, especially for the non-Project Sekai invested people. Alright, next, this is a pretty minor point, but the tuning. Okay, I was only pretty mixed about this. Okay, actually, I thought the tuning for Miku, Rin, and Len were bearable, but then Kaito showed up, and then Meiko. Why do you sound like that? Okay, next, the animation. Okay, it wasn't especially remarkable in any way. Okay, but honestly though, the budget was really not budgeting. Okay, but the overall animation though, I would say it's maybe subpar to what you'd expect from an anime series. The dancing sequences actually were more well animated though, and throughout the movie there would be occasional NPCs and background characters that were animated in CGI. I actually found that really funny. Every time a CGI character showed up, I'd be like, yo, it's CGI classmate! Or yo, it's random CGI woman! And also when the credits rolled, we were looking at it very intensely and we were like, wow, that is a lot of outsourcing. Lastly, so this is from the perspective of my non-Project Sekai, non-Vocaloid fan friends who knew absolutely nothing about the characters. Well, they thought the movie was pretty boring. They actually were pretty confused throughout the movie, like, wait, who are the other people in the Sekai? Like, you know, the ones who aren't Miku. Who are those people and why do they exist? To me, I feel as though most of the enjoyment you get out of this movie is propped up by these little references or jokes that only Vocaloid or Sekai fans would get. And it's really hinged on the interaction between each of the Sekai characters. I could watch these characters interact all day, you know? From an outsider's perspective, someone who knows absolutely nothing about these characters or their names even, they would not enjoy that, to say the least. And honestly, if you don't care about the Project Sekai cast at all, don't expect to enjoy this movie. So yeah, that's the movie. Let's move on to the most interesting part, the songs. So, one thing that me and my other friend Ifudachi did while watching the movie was when a new song popped up, we would automatically play this game. It's called Guess the Producer. I think the title's pretty self-explanatory. So with each song I'll be introducing here, I'll also be including which producers we guessed and how utterly and ridiculously wrong we were. Alright, first song, The Future of Beginning. Obviously, being the first song of the movie and all, we obviously guessed Deco 27. Oh, how wrong we were with that one. So much for all that, yo, this song sounds so Deco 27. Oh, this is so obviously Deco 27. No, it wasn't. Anyways, afterwards, we checked and we saw it was produced by 40 Meter P and our favorite Sasakure. Okay, with 40 Meter P, I listened more to the song and I was like, okay, yeah, I can see that. But Sasakure? We were both like, no way, that sounds nothing like his stuff. Not at all. So in terms of accuracy, we are just not there for this song. Never would have guessed. Alright, second song. Now, this one was the movie's main song, so it's Hello Sekai. Do I really have to say it? Deco 27, World Domination. And of course, we were very much right with that guess. Alright, so now let's move on to the unit songs. First up, we have Leonid with their song, Story, with a lowercase o. At first, the song came up and we were like, oh, that's Deco 27. And it's like, no, it can't be Deco 27. There's no way he had a part in every single song in this movie, right? So then we kept on listening, and then Ifudachi was like, could this be Neru, perhaps? And then the chorus hit, and then I went, this is Orange Star. And then it continued, and I was like, wait, no, this is Camus. And then it ended, and then we turned to each other, and then we both said in unison, yeah, that is very Orange Star. Oh yeah, she doesn't like Orange Star, by the way. It was Camus and Deco 27. Because of course it was. Who would have guessed? I kinda did. Secondly, we have Fun, performed by More Jump. And honestly, we were pretty stumped by this song. From the small segments that we got from the movie, we couldn't really exactly piece together whose style this was. So, in the beginning, we jokingly said, oh, it's Deco 27, because of course it's Deco 27. But then, I unjokingly withdrew my statement, and I threw a penny into the well and said Easy Pop. Correct answer, it was Deco 27 and Iowa. That really threw me off guard. I really didn't expect Iowa, but listening to the song again now, okay, yeah, I see it. I see the Iowa style. Thirdly, we have VBS with Fire Dance. Now, I don't know if this is considered cheating, but within the first few seconds of this song, I heard the producer tag loud and clear. But honestly, even without hearing it, I feel like we would have both said Giga either way. So there we got it. It was Giga and Deco 27. Next song is Smile Symphony by Wonderland's X Showtime. Do you pronounce the X? I certainly do. This one we made sure to pay close attention to. We both loved Wonder Show, but I feel like Ifudachi loves them more. When the chorus hit, I was like, yo, that is Oster Project. That is so Oster Project. And Ifudachi agreed. So yeah, that song was literally screaming Oster Project. And when we checked, what? New Fruits? Like the New Fruits? Like that New Fruits? The Waswald New Fruits? Traffic Jam? Tricloge? Are you kidding? New Fruits? Oh yeah, and Deco 27. Final unit song by Night Chord at 25. The light that dwells here. Okay, for this one, we were honestly really stumped by this. Throughout the entire song, we took turns being like, wait, I know this. I recognize this style. Wait, no, I don't. So, yeah, our final answer? Nothing. We gave up. No answer. Correct answer is 3. Yes, the 3. And Deco 27. Okay, honestly, if I listen to the chorus again right now, yeah, I can tell it's 3, only because I already know 3 produced it. But honestly, I wouldn't have guessed 3 at all in the movie. And those are the unit songs. Lastly, we have Worlders. I think this was the end credits song, was it? I can't remember. Well, during the end credits, we weren't really paying much attention because our eyes were just glued to the credits, trying to find the producer credits for each of those songs. I think we said Deco 27, but of course it wasn't. It was Jin and Teddy Lloyd. Well done, Ifu-chan and Ifudachi. You scored a whopping 0 out of whatever how many songs there were. Imagine our reaction when the credits rolled and there was a flashbang of Deco 27. It's all Deco 27. Always has been. In the beginning, we joked that this was going to be Deco 27 the movie, but it ended up not being a joke. It was literally Deco 27 the movie. Okay, so that kind of wraps up most of my thoughts about the movie. I only wrote down like a quarter of my thoughts after exiting the movie screenings, so there might be a lot more that I just forgot or has already exited my mind at this moment in time. So, yeah. Also, one more thing. This is a bit of a personal gripe, but at my screening, they did not hand out any of those posters or game codes or anything like that. So yeah, that kind of pissed me off a little bit. So yeah, this was a short review, nothing much of what I thought about the movie. I hope you guys enjoyed question mark this review. Now, if you asked me what my favorite unit song was from this movie, or just favorite song in general, I would say Fire Dance. I really liked how energetic and, well, dancey this song was. And with that out of the way, that's it for today's review. I hope you guys had the chance to watch the movie. If you're watching this far into the video, you should have probably seen the movie already, but who knows. Anyways, if you have, I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Well, we as in me and Ifudachi. And with that is it for today's video. And I hope to see you guys in my next one, whenever that may be. Bye!